The Men's Underwear Index MUI, an economic indicator. Introduction. The Men's Underwear Index MUI is an unconventional economic indicator that serves as a barometer for consumer confidence and spending patterns. The premise behind the MUI is straightforward: men's underwear, a basic necessity, tends to have stable sales during healthy economic times. However, during recessions, purchases may be deferred, leading to a decline in sales. This indicator was popularized by former Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan, who suggested that fluctuations in men's underwear sales could reflect broader economic trends. Origins and background. The concept of the Men's Underwear Index took shape in the late 20th century, primarily during the 1970s and 1980s. Greenspan's insights into consumer behavior led him to believe that men's underwear sales could provide a reliable gauge of economic health. He hypothesized that when consumers feel optimistic about their financial prospects, they are more likely to purchase new underwear. Conversely, during economic downturns, consumers might view underwear purchases as non-essential, leading to a decline in sales. The idea gained attention over the years, especially as economists and analysts observed its correlation with significant economic events. The MUI became a point of interest in discussions about consumer behavior, economic cycles, and the relationship between spending and economic health. Economic trends reflected by the MUI. The MUI has shown a consistent pattern during major economic events, providing valuable insights into consumer behavior. 1. The Great Recession 2007 to 2009. During this period, the U.S. economy experienced significant contraction with high unemployment rates and decreased consumer spending. The MUI reflected this downturn as men's underwear sales dropped markedly. This decline was indicative of broader economic challenges and consumer caution. 2. Post-recession recovery 2010 to 2012. As the economy began to recover, so did men's underwear sales. This rebound suggested a restoration of consumer confidence and willingness to spend on non-essential items, further validating the MUI as a leading economic indicator. 3. COVID-19 pandemic 2020. The onset of the pandemic brought unprecedented economic disruption. As lockdowns and job losses became widespread, men's underwear sales once again fell, underscoring the MUI's relevance during times of crisis. Consumer behavior shifted dramatically, with many prioritizing essential goods over discretionary purchases. Validity and limitations of the MUI. While the MUI has demonstrated its capacity to reflect changes in consumer sentiment and economic activity, it is essential to approach it with caution. The MUI is not infallible. A decline in underwear sales does not automatically signal an impending recession. It should be used in conjunction with other economic indicators such as GDP growth, unemployment rates, and inflation, to provide a comprehensive view of economic health. Critics of the MUI argue that its non-traditional nature may lead to misinterpretations. Factors such as cultural differences, market variations, and changes in consumer preferences may influence underwear sales independently of broader economic trends. For example, in some markets, the significance of underwear purchases may differ due to cultural norms or spending habits. Insights into consumer behavior. The MUI has sparked a broader discussion about consumer behavior and spending patterns. Economists suggest that consumer expenditure is a critical driver of economic growth. As such, understanding how spending on basic necessities like underwear fluctuates can offer insights into consumer confidence and economic stability. The MUI also highlights the importance of discretionary spending. While underwear is a necessity, consumers may still choose to delay purchases during economic uncertainty. This behavior can have ripple effects throughout the economy, influencing demand for various goods and services and ultimately impacting job creation and economic growth. Comparative analysis with other economic indicators. The MUI is one of several unconventional indicators that have emerged to gauge economic sentiment. Others include Lipstick Index,
Coined by Estee Lauder's Leonard Lauder, this index suggests that sales of lipstick increase during economic downturns as consumers indulge in affordable luxuries. Hemline Index. This theory posits that the hemlines of women's skirts rise in economic booms and fall during recessions, reflecting consumer confidence and spending behavior.
These indicators, while differing in focus, share a common thread. They attempt to gauge economic trends through consumer behavior around everyday items.
However, like the MUI,
they should not be relied upon in isolation but rather as part of a broader analytical framework.
Conclusion.
The Men's Underwear Index serves as a unique and intriguing economic indicator that offers insights into consumer behavior and broader economic trends. Its origins, historical relevance, and reflections of consumer confidence underscore its potential value in economic analysis. However, it is essential to recognize its limitations and use the MUI alongside other economic indicators to obtain a comprehensive understanding of economic conditions. As the world continues to navigate economic challenges, the MUI remains a compelling example of how even the most mundane aspects of life can provide valuable insights into the complexities of the economy.
The interplay between consumer confidence, spending habits, and economic health is a dynamic one.
And the MUI serves as a reminder that our purchasing decisions, no matter how trivial they may seem, can have significant implications for the broader economic landscape. The Men's Underwear Index MUI serves as an unconventional economic indicator, drawing attention for its unique premise that men's underwear sales can reflect consumer confidence and economic conditions. This index was popularized by former Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan, who observed that underwear is a basic necessity and fluctuations in its sales can signal broader changes in consumer behavior, particularly during economic ups and downs.
Counterintuitive insights.
1. Necessity versus discretion. One might assume that all consumer spending on essentials remains constant regardless of economic conditions.
However,
the MUI suggests that even basic necessities like underwear can be deferred in times of economic uncertainty. This counters the traditional view that essential items always see stable demand. 2. Indicator of recovery. The MUI is often viewed as a lagging indicator, but it can also indicate the beginnings of economic recovery.
This challenges the common perception that recovery indicators only manifest after substantial economic improvement has occurred.
Instead, the MUI can provide early signs that consumer confidence is returning, as increased underwear sales can suggest that consumers are beginning to spend again.
3. Cultural relativity. The MUI's applicability may not translate across different cultures or markets.
In some regions, the importance placed on underwear purchases may not align with economic indicators,
suggesting that consumer behavior is culturally specific.
This challenges the universality of economic indicators and suggests that local consumer habits can significantly influence spending patterns. For skepticism towards indicators. While the MUI has shown correlations with economic downturns and recoveries, there's a counterintuitive skepticism regarding its reliability as an economic forecast tool. The acknowledgement that a decline in sales does not necessarily predict an economic recession, as indicated by some sources, highlights a nuanced understanding of economic indicators, suggesting that they can be misleading if not contextualized properly. 5. Influence of external factors. The MUI's fluctuations during events like the COVID-19 pandemic illustrate that external factors can drastically alter consumer behavior.
This notion counters the expectation that economic indicators remain consistent regardless of sudden global events, emphasizing the need for dynamic interpretations of consumer spending data.
6. Marketing and brand dynamics. The rise of e-commerce and the introduction of new underwear brands can affect the MUI's outcomes. As consumers have more choices and often seek discounts, traditional metrics based on sales volume may not adequately capture the shifts in consumer behavior. This indicates that reliance on historical data without accounting for market evolution can lead to inaccurate conclusions about economic health. 7. Comparison with other quirky indicators. The MUI is often mentioned alongside other unconventional indicators like the lipstick index and hemline index. The juxtaposition of these indicators reveals a broader trend in economic analysis that embraces seemingly trivial consumer behavior as reflective of deeper economic truths,
challenging the conventional wisdom that serious economics should focus solely on traditional metrics like GDP or unemployment rates.
8. Consumer psychology. The MUI reflects not just economic conditions but also consumer psychology. The willingness to purchase new underwear can be seen as a psychological barometer of optimism or pessimism. This insight diverges from the purely financial interpretations of consumer behavior, suggesting that emotional and psychological factors play a crucial role in economic decision-making.
Conclusion.
The men's underwear index, while initially appearing whimsical, invites a more profound examination of consumer behavior and economic indicators. It reveals the complexities and nuances of economic analysis, highlighting that even the purchase of everyday items can yield significant insights into consumer sentiment and economic trends. This counterintuitive understanding encourages a broader perspective on economic indicators, emphasizing the importance of context, culture, and psychological factors in interpreting consumer behavior. The men's underwear index MUI is a fascinating but often overlooked economic indicator that reflects consumer confidence and spending patterns, particularly during periods of economic downturn. While many discussions surrounding economic indicators tend to focus on conventional metrics such as GDP, employment rates, and inflation, MUI offers a unique lens through which to analyze consumer behavior.
Important content that may be overlooked. 1. Historical context and evolution.
The MUI's origins trace back to former Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan, who observed that men's underwear sales tend to remain stable during prosperous times but decline during economic hardships. The historical context of the MUI's development is significant because it highlights how economists have sought unconventional methods to gauge economic health. The fact that an everyday item like underwear could serve as an economic barometer illustrates the innovative thinking required to understand consumer behavior. 2. Behavioral economics insights. The MUI provides insights into behavioral economics by demonstrating how consumer psychology affects spending. During economic uncertainty, even necessary purchases may be deferred. This insight is crucial as it points to a broader understanding of consumer behavior. Individuals not only react to economic conditions but also make psychological assessments of their financial stability.
3. Correlation with major economic events. The MUI's performance during significant economic events such as the Great Recession and the COVID-19 pandemic illustrates its capacity to signal shifts in consumer confidence. The correlation between these events and declines in underwear sales underscores the index's reliability as a leading indicator. However, many analysts may overlook this correlation, focusing instead on more traditional metrics that do not capture the same immediacy or psychological nuance. 4. Limitations of the MUI. While the MUI has demonstrated historical validity, its limitations are often understated. For instance, a decline in underwear sales does not automatically imply a recession. It could reflect other factors such as changing consumer preferences or increased competition from new brands. Understanding these limitations is critical for accurate economic forecasting and prevents over-reliance on this singular indicator. 5. Cross-cultural considerations.
The applicability of the MUI in different cultural contexts is an area that warrants further exploration. For example, in markets where traditional underwear is less emphasized, the MUI may not function as effectively. This aspect raises broader questions about how economic indicators can vary in significance across different demographics and cultures, a nuance that is frequently overlooked in discussions about the MUI.
6. Consumer behavior and economic growth.
The relationship between consumer spending on essentials such as underwear and overall economic growth is another significant insight derived from the MUI. Increased spending in this category can indicate rising consumer confidence, which can lead to job creation and economic expansion. Yet discussions about economic indicators rarely highlight the cascading effects of consumer behavior on broader economic trends. 7. Comparative analysis with other indices. The MUI is often mentioned alongside other unconventional indices like the lipstick index or the hemline index. However, a deeper comparative analysis of these indices could yield interesting insights into consumer sentiment. Understanding how these indices interact and what they reveal about different aspects of consumer behavior can enhance our understanding of economic dynamics. Significance of the MUI. The significance of the men's underwear index lies in its ability to encapsulate complex consumer behavior in a straightforward metric. It serves as a reminder that economic indicators do not always have to be about grand financial statistics. They can also be derived from everyday consumer choices. The MUI encourages economists and analysts to think outside traditional frameworks and consider how seemingly mundane aspects of life can reflect broader economic realities. Moreover, the MUI underscores the importance of consumer confidence as a driver of economic activity. As consumer confidence fluctuates, so too does spending behavior, which in turn affects economic growth. By paying attention to the MUI and its implications, stakeholders can gain a more nuanced understanding of economic health and the factors that influence it. In conclusion, the men's underwear index is more than just a quirky economic indicator. It is a valuable tool for understanding consumer behavior, economic trends, and the psychological factors that drive spending. By recognizing its importance and the insights it offers, analysts can develop a more comprehensive view of the economy that goes beyond traditional metrics. 1. Historical significance and origins. The men's underwear index MUI was conceptualized by former Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan, who recognized that men's underwear sales could serve as a unique economic indicator. This stems from the belief that underwear is a basic necessity and its sales remain relatively stable in prosperous economic times. However, during economic downturns, consumers are more likely to defer purchases of non-essential items like underwear. The historical context of the MUI emerging in the 1970s and 1980s highlights its relevance as an unconventional yet insightful measure of consumer confidence and behavior in relation to broader economic conditions. 2. Correlation with economic trends. The MUI has demonstrated a strong correlation with significant economic events, particularly during the Great Recession 2007 to 2009 and the COVID-19 pandemic 2020. During these periods of economic turmoil, there was a notable decline in men's underwear sales, reflecting reduced consumer spending and confidence. Conversely, an increase in sales during economic recovery phases 2010 to 2012 indicated restored consumer confidence. This correlation underscores the MUI's potential as a leading economic indicator, providing insights into consumer behavior and economic health. 3. Validity and limitations as an economic indicator. While the MUI has shown some validity in reflecting economic conditions, it is important to recognize its limitations. Economists caution against relying solely on the MUI as a definitive measure of economic health, as decreased sales do not always predict an impending recession. The MUI should be viewed in conjunction with other economic indicators such as GDP growth, employment rates, and inflation to form a more comprehensive analysis of economic trends. This nuanced understanding is crucial for policymakers, businesses, and analysts when interpreting consumer behavior and economic forecasts. 4. Insights into consumer behavior. The MUI's rise has sparked discussions about consumer behavior and spending patterns. It illustrates how economic conditions can influence consumer decisions, particularly regarding discretionary spending. The MUI serves as a reminder that even basic consumer goods can provide valuable insights into economic sentiment and trends. Additionally, the varying applicability of the MUI across different cultural and market contexts, such as in developing countries, raises questions about the universality of consumer spending patterns and the need for tailored economic indicators in diverse environments. 1. The Lipstick Index. Coined by Leonard Lauder, former chairman of Estee Lauder Companies, the Lipstick Index emerged during economic downturns, particularly after the 2001 recession and the 2008 financial crisis. Lauder observed that lipstick sales tended to rise when the economy faltered as consumers sought small, affordable luxuries to boost their spirits. The index suggests that even in tough times people will indulge in minor luxuries, making lipstick sales a barometer for consumer confidence and spending behavior. 2. The Hemline Index. This concept dates back to the 1920s and was popularized by economist George Taylor. It suggests a correlation between the hemlines of women's skirts and the state of the economy. According to this theory, during economic booms, hemlines rise as women feel more confident and affluent, while in times of economic downturn, hemlines drop as a reflection of a more conservative and cautious consumer sentiment. The Hemline Index has been cited in various economic analyses, particularly in relation to fashion trends and consumer spending. 3. The Big Mac Index. Developed by The Economist in 1986, the Big Mac Index is a lighthearted way of measuring purchasing power parity (PPP) between countries. It compares the cost of a Big Mac across different nations to gauge whether currencies are at their correct level. If a Big Mac is cheaper in one country than another, it suggests that the local currency is undervalued. This index serves as a simple tool for understanding currency valuation and economic conditions in a global context, making it a popular reference in discussions about exchange rates and international economics.
The Men's Underwear Index (MUI) has gained traction as an unconventional yet intriguing economic indicator, reflecting consumer confidence and spending behavior. As we look toward the future, several predictions can be made regarding the MUI's relevance and application in economic analysis. Predictions for the future of the Men's Underwear Index (MUI). 1. Increased adoption by analysts. As economic analysts seek diverse indicators to gauge consumer behavior, the MUI is likely to gain further traction. Its unique ability to reflect consumer sentiment makes it an appealing tool, especially in uncertain economic climates.
Analysts may increasingly incorporate the MUI alongside traditional indicators like GDP and unemployment rates, particularly during periods of economic volatility.
2. Correlation with e-commerce growth. The rise of e-commerce is reshaping consumer purchasing behavior.
As consumers increasingly buy goods online, including clothing essentials like underwear, the MUI may evolve to reflect these changes.
Future data collection methods may encompass both online and offline sales, providing a more comprehensive view of consumer behavior. This evolution could enhance the MUI's reliability as an economic indicator. 3. Expansion of the index. Given the success of the MUI in predicting economic trends, there may be a movement toward the development of similar indices focusing on other essential items. Indicators akin to the MUI could emerge, tracking the sales of products like socks or t-shirts, creating a broader understanding of consumer spending patterns across various categories. 4. Integration with technology. Advancements in data analytics and artificial intelligence could lead to more sophisticated interpretations of the MUI. Analysts might leverage machine learning algorithms to predict economic trends based on historical MUI data, enhancing its predictive power. This technological integration could also allow for real-time tracking of sales data, providing timely insights into consumer confidence.
5. Potential cultural variations. As economies become more globalized, the MUI may encounter varying degrees of relevance across different cultural contexts. Future studies may reveal how consumer behavior regarding underwear purchases differs in emerging markets compared to developed countries. This cultural nuance could lead to the adaptation of the MUI or the creation of localized indices that account for varying consumer priorities. 6. Impact of economic recovery post-COVID-19. The COVID-19 pandemic has fundamentally altered consumer behavior. As economies recover, the MUI might initially experience fluctuations as consumers reassess their spending habits. Analysts will be keen to observe whether the MUI rebounds quickly, indicating a swift recovery in consumer confidence, or whether it shows delayed growth reflecting ongoing economic uncertainties.
7. Interlinking with other indices.
The MUI may increasingly be analyzed in conjunction with other unconventional economic indicators such as the lipstick index or the hemline index.
This interdisciplinary approach could provide richer insights into consumer sentiment and spending,
as analysts look for patterns across various product categories.
8. Educational tool and economic literacy.
The MUI could serve as an engaging educational tool to illustrate economic principles to students and the general public. By using relatable products like underwear, educators can foster discussions about consumer behavior, economic cycles, and the importance of spending in driving economic growth.
9. Response to changing social norms. As societal norms evolve, consumer attitudes towards purchasing essentials might shift.
Future iterations of the MUI may need to account for changing perceptions of necessity versus luxury, particularly among younger consumers who prioritize sustainability and brand ethics. This shift could influence how economists interpret MUI data in the context of broader consumer values.
10. Continued skepticism and critique. Despite its potential, the MUI will likely continue to face skepticism regarding its validity as an economic indicator.
Critics may argue that the MUI is too simplistic or influenced by external factors such as fashion trends or cultural shifts.
As such, ongoing debates about its efficacy will shape its future application in economic analysis. Conclusion.
The men's underwear index is positioned to remain a noteworthy, albeit unconventional, economic indicator in the coming years. As economic landscapes evolve and consumer behaviors shift, the MUI may adapt and grow in relevance, providing valuable insights into the complex relationship between consumer confidence and economic health.
Its unique perspective on essential spending could become an integral part of economic discourse, prompting further exploration of consumer behavior in an ever-changing world.